Hi there, Steve Shives breaks a new record. In 1947, Chuck Yeager broke the sound barrier. A new milestone in 2016. YouTuber Steve Shives broke the stupidity barrier by producing the most idiotic video he ever made.
Yes, I'm a YouTube atheist, but try not to hold that against me, okay?
Just that you are a hypocrite.
Here are 5 toxic things about YouTube atheism. Number 1, it has a sexism problem. Many of the most popular atheists on YouTube are brazen anti-feminists who insult and belittle women and men, but mostly women, who speak out against gender inequality.
No, Steve, they recognize feminism as the problem it is. Whenever one tries to expose this, your feminist friends will do anything to ruin this person by doxing, going after jobs, careers, and effectively ruining lives, but you will never mention this. Won't you, Steve?
They also proudly deny the existences of things like the wage gap.
Nope, we don't deny it, but when you add, for the same job to the sentence, feminists start lying. The same job equals same pay, but it never is the same job, is it, Steve?
Rape culture, gender imbalances in political and cultural representation, and other problems that are widely accepted and seriously discussed outside of the misogynist circle jerk that is the atheist community on YouTube.
Nice of you to sum up the feminist illusions that have been debunked into exhaustion, and still you cannot understand why people are against feminism. Do you really believe your own bullshit?
It also has a racism problem. Number 3, it has a religious bigotry problem too. The ugliest religious bigotry in the YouTube atheist community is, of course, directed at Muslims, who are commonly stereotyped as potential terrorists and whose religion is viewed as inherently worse and more dangerous than any other.
Steve, as an atheist you should be at the least be skeptical about any religion. Islam is worse than any religion in the world, and it is the deadliest spreading world peace problem. You must be completely blind not to see this happening.
But there's still plenty of judgmental condescension left over for Christians and religious folks in general.
And with this you mean Christian fundamentalists and creationists that are taking over schools to deny science and progress? This is what atheism is about, getting rid of religious dogma, and you are defending this shit with your feminist diatribe.
Many YouTube atheists will still cite belief in God. Number 4, it's addicted to drama and conflict.
Perhaps you should consider to take a look in the mirror?
Some of the most watched atheists on YouTube today began making videos in response to creationists. Some of them conducted themselves with class, dignity, and intellectual honesty, striving to have civil conversations with often exasperating adversaries. But even back in those less fractious early years, before the community's pervasive racism and sexism surfaced, the most popular personalities were those who gleefully bullied their targets.
But they never did things like doxing, or getting them fired by their employers as your feminist buddies like to do. Disagreement and debunking of arguments is not bullying. For Christ's sake, grow a backbone.
Small wonder then that once the creationist opponents had been exhausted, the bullies turned and found new enemies within atheist circles.
Wrong again. This happened after third wave feminism married atheism plus, and presented their unique doctrine of being offended by any critique, and call it harassment, like you constantly do yourself, Steve.
And it turns out that most people who enjoyed watching obnoxious white dudes attack Christians were just as entertained by watching those same obnoxious white dudes attack women, Muslims, and racial justice activists.
Do you mean women like these specimens, Steve? And with racial justice activists, you mean Black Lives Matters, right?
That the YouTube atheist community is now dominated by professional trolls.
Crap, Steve, when will you grow back your fucking balls, you babbling vagina?
Who manufacture conflict in order to generate content and views would be bad enough if the damage they caused was confined to YouTube. but it's not. Number 5, it reflects poorly on the rest of the atheist movement. Ever wonder why, with a few notable exceptions, YouTube atheists are not invited to address secular conferences?
You fucking lying cunt. They refuse to come to events that are infested by political correct social justice warriors and feminists, whining about their safe spaces.
Or represent atheist organizations to the public? If you're lucky, your first contact with atheism on YouTube came in the form of one of the more responsible voices, like Aaron Ra, Seth Andrews, or Matt Dillahunty.
Don't compare yourself to these 3 men, especially Seth Andrews. How about Dark Matter 2525, who now apologizes for ever giving you the shout out that made your channel big?
But unfortunately, it's much more likely that before you got to them...
Look at his illustration, that actually tells the truth. Feminism is the cancer that is destroying the atheist community. All lives do matter, and stop treating Islam like they are an oppressed minority.
We atheists like to pat ourselves on the back for being more reasonable than the religious folks, but I don't think that's true. And judging by the most visible representatives of our movement on YouTube, the most unreasonable belief shared by many of us might be the belief that we're the reasonable ones. The hardest part is picking only 5. Catch you next time.
With this video containing this insane rant, you committed intellectual suicide. Or did you really think that beside your idiotic SJW and feminist fans, anyone will take you serious anymore? All this SJW and feminism lunatics have succeeded where Christian conservatives failed. They destroyed the unity between atheists. Just look at the difference between people attending the 2012 and the 2016 Reason rally. Congratulations, fucking morons.